Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Russian slackers updated their site, Sputnik, so I can use their Ukraine front update as well, not only the Ukrainska Pravda's update. So today we can be lied by both sides, by the Ukrainians and by the Russians. Ukrainska Pravda versus Sputnik. All right, so let's start with Ukrainska Pravda. Ladies first. All right, here is Ukrainska Pravda, Friday the 21st of July 2023. Russians pushing ahead on 5 fronts with 33 combat clashes taking place, General Staff report. In addition to missile strikes, the Russian occupiers launched 12 airstrikes on 21 July with 33 combat clashes taking place at the front. The source is the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Details. On July 21st, Russian occupation forces launched another large-scale missile and air strike on the territory of Ukraine using 3 Kalibr sea-launched cruise missiles, 4 Iskander ground-launched cruise missiles, 6 Oniks cruise missiles, and Kh-59 cruise missiles, and 1 anti-aircraft guided missile from an S-300 air defense system. Now, these guys do not have a response for this one yet. I made a video on that. According to the Ukrainians, not with the Russians, the Oniks cruise missiles. They are ship missiles, so they are destroying vessels on the sea. Therefore, they fly very low. Therefore, the defense systems, Ukrainian defense systems, cannot properly detect them or destroy them. In addition, Russian forces carried out 12 airstrikes and launched 29 attacks using multiple launch rocket systems on the positions of Ukrainian troops and settlements. Now I'm not going to do this because this is to get my empathy working, and that's somewhere dug, or how do you call it, buried deep inside. The likelihood of missile and airstrikes throughout Ukraine remains high. Russians continue to focus their main effort on the Kupiansk, Liman, Bakhmut, Avdifka and Marinka fronts, the same ones. Heavy fighting continues. Over the course of the day, 33 combat clashes took place. So the same, Kupiansk, Liman, Bakhmut, Avdifka, Marinka, ram-pam-pam. They are right here. In Kharkiv, in Luhansk, and in Donetsk. So I'm going to show you each and every one. Here is Kupiansk right here, and then we go south a little bit. We got here Liman, and then we got Bakhmut, Artemovsk. Where are you, baby doll? Right here. And then you go to Avdifka right here, and then we go to Marinka. So this is the front where the Russians are supposedly advancing and doing hanky-panky. Now let's go back to the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians already told us the little summary of what's going on, and they're going to start with the northern part, then with the northeast, then with the east, southeast, and south. All right, we got that covered. On the Liman front, so they start with the Liman, they don't go to Kupiansk. Okay, whatever you want, baby. So, on the Liman front, the Russians conducted unsuccessful, remember, offensives. So the Russians are conducting offensive, not the Ukrainians. In the areas of Nadia, Makivka, Nevsky, Luhansk Oblast, and Serebryanka Forest, Dibrova, Donetsk Oblast. So I already showed you where Liman is, but I'm going to show you again. It's right here in this area. Okay, where this little thing is dangerous. Let me destroy this one, and let's go with this one. On the Bakhmut front, which is south, Artemovsk. Under heavy fire from Russian artillery, Ukrainian defenders successfully repelled their attacks. So again, someone attacks, and that's not the Ukrainians, that's the Russians. Let's go back to Artemovsk or Bakhmut, which is right here. The Russians say, okay, what happened here? Russian air defenses shot down a Ukrainian drone. And here, this is right here is Artemovsk, so in the area. Let's see what's going on. The Yug battle group successfully repelled all attacks by Ukrainian troops using air and artillery strikes. So far the Russians say the Ukrainians attacked, and they repelled the attacks. And if you read the Ukrainians said the Russians attacked and they repelled. Now here, just to go back here, because the Ukrainians did not do a good job, this blue stuff here, these little blue bullets, they are, according to the Russians, Ukrainians shelling Russian civilians here, okay? That's how they, because I'm gonna just use it here, it's usually villages. So they said the village had come under Ukrainian fire. There were no casualties, shell fragments damaged the house, 2 cars. Okay, so all this, according to the Russians, is just Ukrainians bombarding civilians. Let's see what the Russians say about this one. Russian forces destroyed an ammunition depot of Ukraine's 1st Special Purpose Brigade. Now the red things are the Russians bombarding whatever the Ukrainians have here. So let's pick this one. The Zapad battle group hammered Ukrainian troops using air and artillery strikes. This is a drone probably. Russian air defenses shot down the Ukrainian drone. So when you see yellow bullets, those are drones that were shot down by the Russians. And if it looks like an airplane, I don't see one here, it's usually a helicopter or an aircraft. So obviously here's shelling. This is where they're face to face. Let's see what they say here, the Russians. Units of the Center battle group successfully repelled all attacks. Again, they are the defenders, the other guys are the attackers. This is the same thing here. Let's go to Liman. Again, successfully repelled all Ukrainian attacks. Here, battle group successfully repelled all attacks by Ukrainian troops using air and artillery strikes. And we did this in Bakhmut, right? The same thing, they attack. Somehow the Ukrainians attack. Anyway, let's go back to the Ukrainian article. On the Avdifka front, which is south of Bakhmut, under heavy fire from Russian aircraft and artillery, Ukrainian defenders successfully again repelled the attacks of Russian troops in the area of Pervomaiske, Donetsk Oblast. And the Air Force of the Armed Forces of Ukraine inflicted 13 strikes on areas of concentration of Russian personnel, weapons and military equipment, 3 of which targeted Russian anti-aircraft missile systems. Units of rocket forces and artillery struck a cluster of Russian personnel, weapons and military equipment, 2 artillery in firing positions and 1 electronic warfare station. So this is Ukrainians saying we shelled the shit out of them in Avdifka direction. So let's see, Avdifka is right here. Where are you, baby doll? Right here. So this is could be the shelling the Ukrainians are saying, but if I'm gonna get Donetsk, the Russians gonna say, hey, they attacked civilians. So I'm not going, let's do it, what the hell. Ukrainian forces shelled the blah 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 districts. They fired 27 MLRS rockets and 155 millimeter shells at the city. Okay, got that? Got that. Right here, what's going on here? The U battle group successfully repelled all attacks by Ukrainian troops using air and artillery strikes. And we're going to move to Marinka, where these guys are going to be next. Below Avdifka is Marinka, which these guys give us money, and that's where they stop. This is a racket right here. But anyway, if you're slackers, let's go to the Russians then. Use them. So here, Marinka. The Russians say that the battle group successfully repelled all attacks by Ukrainian troops using air and artillery strikes, and the Russians destroyed an ammunition depot of Ukrainian 38th Marine Brigade. Now this is in South Donetsk, and here is the border with Zaporozhye, right here is Zaporozhye. Let's see what the Ukrainians did here. They fired 5 155 millimeter shells at the village, and here the U battle group hammered Ukrainian units and struck a command post. Okay, here probably they thwarted a reconnaissance group. The Vostok battle group thwarted the activity of a Ukrainian storage and reconnaissance group, sabotage, I'm sorry. And here there's shelling by the Russians. Here, drone downed, supposedly. And let's see what's going on here, because the Ukrainians, this is Zaporozhye here, they say that they are advancing here, the Ukrainians, in Zaporozhye. Let's see what the Russians are saying. Russian forces successfully repelled an attack by Ukrainian troops using artillery strikes. And that's it. And drones. Mariupol drone, what the hell? One drone in Mariupol, one drone right here. Drone. all these drones. And then we move here to the last oblast in the south, with this Kherson. Now again, this is Enerhodar. Right here is the power plant, so just so you know, for it's almost close to Kherson, but it's in Zaporozhye Oblast. This little reservoir is no more because this little right here was blown up by okay. Again, we have here in Kherson Ukrainian bombardments and the Russian bombardments. These are going to be not on Russian military, it's going to be on civilians. Let's say this one right here. Ukrainian forces shelled the village's civilian infrastructure. Okay, got that? I think I convinced you. Now I don't have to waste your time with the rest. But on the meantime, the Russians hit here, I'm guessing, military positions. Units of the Dnipro battle group destroyed the Ukrainian position and a mortar crew. 7 Ukrainian soldiers were killed and another 9 were wounded. Here, the Russian forces destroyed an ammunition depot of Ukraine 123rd Territorial Defense Brigade. And here, Russian forces destroyed a temporary deployment point of a Ukrainian unit. Yes, 12 Ukrainian soldiers were killed and another 8 were wounded. So this is war. Now the Russians don't say anything what they did in this area, which is they bombarded this little town, Belgorod Dnistrovsky, and they attack Odessa and Nikolaev. But hey, when the Ukrainians said at the beginning of their little thing here, that they attacked with Kalibr, they attacked with large-scale missile right here, large-scale missile, papi, popi, poo, boo, boop. They were referring mostly to this area from other, how do you call them, other articles that I looked into with my eager beaver eye. All right, so here it is. We can't have these guys work too hard. When one side is doing its job and giving us their lies, the other ones are slackers and they don't show up. No show, okay? No call, no show. And when the other guys show up, eventually the other guys stop short. I don't know, go to use the restroom or something and say, okay, that's it, just sending, man. I gotta go take a poop. That's it. All right, my friends. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.